Hello, my squishies. It's Friday. It's 6 o'clock. It is felting time. So we record these live. So I'm just going to give everybody a minute who's joining us live to come in. And if somebody could let me know that they can hear me, that would be excellent. But yes, welcome to the Felt Along. So as we are waiting on people popping in, for those of you who haven't joined us before, I'm going to give you a quick, you want my hands, a quick introduction as to what's going on and how to felt. So, in your kits, you will have a foam mat. This is what you're going to felt onto. This protects your surfaces. You're going to have a bit of I'm so distracted. In fact, let's start again. Sounds good. Thank you, Penguin. Also, hi, Penguin. Welcome to the stream. Nonsense will ensue tonight. I do ramble a lot of nonsense, especially in the comments. People encourage my nonsense, I'm going to say. So for these videos, we do record them live. So after the fact, we leave them up. So after the fact, alarms. You can fast forward. You can rewind, you can pause, and if you're anything like my parents, you don't want to hear my rambling nonsense, you're also welcome to mute me. You do not have to listen to the nonsense. But yes. Oh, hello. Hi, Audrey. Where was I? Yeah, distraction. It's Friday. It's been a long week. So yes, so in your kits you have the foam mat. This is what we're going to felt onto. We have a bit of pre-felt. So this has come off the sheet. It's been washed, it's been washed, brushed, and lightly felted, but it's still malleable. We have I'll show you just a single one. Our sharp, stabby needles. So these are sharp and pointy and barbed on one end, and they have a hook on the other. In your kit, you will also get a needle holder, so I will show you. Yeah, if you want to see what I'm giggling at, press the live replay on the comments below and you can see what everybody's saying to me. So this is the needle holder. So you pull out this little peg, pop the needle in the groove with the hook over the smaller end and pop it back in there. So I'll do that one more time. You take the peg out, pop the needle in the groove with the hook over the smaller end and pop that in there. And then that just gives you a bit more purchase when you're stabbing. But I tend to, let's be different today. Let's use one of them. I normally don't use it, but I've also got my weapon that holds 3 of them, which are available as well, not on my website, but on other places. And then the two last and most important bits, we have, let's start with the easy one. This is yarn. We're going to be using this later on. You'll see why. And this is the roving or tops. So this has come off the sheet. It's been washed, dyed, and brushed and formed into these ropes. To work with this, you want to have your hands nice and far apart and just gently pull, and you'll see little bits come out. You'd be surprised, not if you've joined me before, you will not be surprised, but how little you need. So we're talking minute amounts at later stages in the design process. And if there's any twist in this as well, it's not going to pull apart. So hands nice and far apart, and you can just gently pull. And that is what we're going to make this exciting thing with. Okay. Have I forgotten anything in the introduction? Don't stab yourself. Try not to break the needles. If you do, actually that's quite important. So these needles will snap. If you do break a needle, please try and find the broken bits, find all of it, and put it in something secure until you can bin it. So I have a hard plastic tub that I pop them in, and when that is completely full, I'll pop that in the bin, like a sharps container. If you do stab yourself, I'm so sorry. And if it breaks, oh, I've had a complaint. I know. Uh, a lady who's mentoring me. It's not a real complaint. She was mentoring me, and she just did one of my kits, and she's gonna kill me for saying this. But she was, I'm gonna say, a little bit angry, and she was stabbing quite violently, and she broke 2 needles in quick succession. Both almost flew into her eye. So I do recommend eye protection if you're feeling angry, but but please try not to break the needles. To reduce the breakage, stab in a nice straight line. Don't try and bend it, and don't stab too violently. Okay, so tonight, would you like to see what we're making? So we are doing one you might have seen before, but we're updating it and making it more fun. So tonight we're going to make these little guys. So a nice, easy, relaxed, sheepy one. But I don't know if you can see this. They are 3D fluffy sheep that we have made out of yarn. And they are so cute and fluffy, and you just want to wiggle them. So that is what we're going to do tonight. Because I have ulterior motives for this. Tomorrow I have 20 lovely American ladies in for a felting workshop, and we are going to be doing this tomorrow. So if you're watching this in the future and you were on the course with me on yesterday, but it's tomorrow for me, hello. But right now, let's sorry, this is serious business. Let's get on with the felting. So I haven't even drawn, in fact, let's pop this. Can I pop this somewhere? No, I can't. I don't have space. You're going to go there. Can I squish you along? Yeah, there we go. So I haven't even drawn on this for you because it is half, well, the way I'm doing it is half and half. You are more than welcome to interpret it as you like. You can put hills in, you can make your own landscape. I'm just giving you some tools here, and I want to see what you can make. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the sky as usual. It's my MO. So I'm going to take, I've got 2 colours of blues, and we're going to be making little sandwiches. So I'm going to take a nice thin layer of this blue, the lighter blue, which is Dream. And I'm going to cover in a relatively thick layer. I mean, thick for me, it's not that thick. Cover the top half of the circle, making sure I go outside the lines. Very important here with stabbing is that you definitely want to go outside your lines. This is not colour by numbers. You do not need to stay in the lines. Then I'm going to take some of the darker blue. This is Wave. And I'm going to, so I'm making sure it's spread out a wee bit to make it easier on myself. I'm pulling out. Can you see how thin and wispy that is? And I'm going to lay that on the top half. So if it's a little bit thick, you can just sort of open it up a little bit. And I'm laying that atop the top half of the sky. And I'm going to do that again, but with the lighter one, with the Dream. So again, I'm just going to open it up a little bit. Pull out a really thin, like, can you even see that? And put it on top. So what I'm doing here is I'm layering up thin layers of 2 different colours, because you get to see the wonderful, that makes hidden texture. That doesn't make sense, but it makes texture basically without you having to do any hard work. All you need to do is grab really thin layers. And if you want the sky to be bluer, you can take the blue further down. If you want, I always make a mess with my fluff. If you want it to be a lighter day, you can pull it up. But we're really focusing on tiny thin layers. I don't want to see any clumps. There we go. I'm not happy with that. There's a gap just there. There we go. I'm happy with that now. And you'll notice I haven't even started stabbing anything in. I'm not going to. I'm going to fill in the bottom here. So we're going to do the same but reversed. So I'm taking the lighter green. This is olive. And I'm going to layer that down there. Filling in the bottom with the olive. Making sure you go over your edges. Oh, also in your kit, I've completely forgot to mention it. There is a frame. We'll get to that later. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. So I'm starting my... There we go. And then I'm going to take the darker green, which is hedgerow. And starting with thin layers, I'm focusing them more on the bottom. So in theory, the bit that's closer to you is going to be darker and more vibrant. The further away it is, the lighter it's going to be. But some are still, again, you can see how fine. So we're practicing. This is essentially kind of carding, blending, that kind of thing, but just by hand. I'm going to do the same again. So I'm going to add some green on top of the darker green. I'm trying to avoid getting a line in the center because it's taking essentially 2 to get across. There we go. So I'm pretty happy with that as a base layer. So I'm just going to stab that in. So grab your needles. You can grab one or you can grab multiple at the same time. I'm going to cheat because I've got my handle. And now we can actually, so you can move this around just now because we haven't felted it in at all. And even once we've felted it in a little bit, you can still move it if it's in the wrong place. Once it's been thoroughly felted in, it's kind of stuck there. But especially at the beginning, you can shift stuff if you don't like where it is. Although this is, hi Sylvia, how's it going? So this is literally half and half. So I'm just going to stab all over for a couple of minutes. And don't let me forget. Okay, always look where you're stabbing. Don't do what I'm doing and try and read the comments while you're stabbing. You can see how this hand is. I don't even really need to have that hand there. But try and keep that hand away and to avoid stabbing. And then every so often, what we're going to do is we're going to pull this up off the mat because we are stabbing essentially into the mat as well. So I'm going to just pull up one corner and then just gently pull, and you can see all your bits have started to come through the back. Now at this stage it's still really flexible, so it will wiggle out of shape a little bit, so you can just straighten it back into shape and then continue your stabbing. Also, how is everybody? Tell me in the comments, what have you been up to? What is on the dinner plate tonight? What has been going on? Shop dog Peanut is away with my mum and dad again. She's going for a wee walkies, and then I believe mum is at home cooking my dinner. I am spoilt on a Friday night. She's in my flat cooking my dinner and listening to this, so I'm not allowed to insult her, apparently. Love you, Mum. I love you too, Dad, but I don't think you're listening. Now that they are happily retired, as they do lots of peanut sitting duties. I'm just filling in a wee gap that I've got there. So ideally, we want to be stabbing all over this until it is fairly well felted in. So you can see this one has got a lot less stretch. It's a lot more felted. There's no I'm trying to use bigger and more interesting words. I don't have the words. You just gotta stab it is what you gotta do. Now that that's stabbed in a little bit, I'm happy with how the colours are coming out. I might add a few more layers in, but I am definitely going to add in a little bit of this. So this is slightly fluffier than the roving, or tops, depending on what you want to call it. This is slivers, so it's not been as thoroughly brushed or combed, and it's a little bit more rustic. And you can see if you pull it apart, it's all wiggly and there's little noils and things in there. So I'm going to grab a little bit of this because this makes spectacular clouds. And I'm just going to kind of plonk a cloud there. So you don't have to put clouds in if you don't want to, but I like to pop in a couple of little clouds just for texture. If your cloud is too cloudy, you can even go over it again to make it look more like har, kind of. Do we know, is that a Scottish thing? That's probably a Scottish thing. Like a misty har. Or you can just leave them without doing that as well. And sometimes, am I going to do it on this one? I like to do a little... Yes, I am. So I'm going to put a little thin line just at the horizon. And I'm going to cover that. I know, I always feel like, oh, I do something and then I immediately cover it up. There is madness to my method. Because that's just going to lighten up that horizon ever so slightly. Again, I am still putting super thin layers on top, but that's just going to lighten up that horizon there and give it a nice sense of depth. I think I'm even going to put a little bit more of the darker blue on top. Remember, we're here to have fun, to play and to stab things, so do not worry. And oh my god, the American ladies that I've got coming tomorrow are the first tour group that I'm going to have in my new workshop / office space. So I have spent all week, including some help from Mum and Dad today when they came up, tidying the office. And most of the office has never looked better. It is spectacular, it is beautiful. Tables are tidy and clean. Everything is organized, and then you come around to my little space where my computer is, and it is chaos because I've just shoved everything in here. Nobody is allowed behind the wall. Oh, I've got a long comment. Oh, Sylvia, that sounds fun. Have you thought about putting some yarn scraps into it? Have you got? Is it on your channel? Sylvia also has a YouTube channel. It's You, Me, and FPP. I think it's FPP. Pop it in the comments, Sylvia. I always get. I'm dyslexic, so I always get the letters wrong in your name. Now I'm seeing it's a little bit thin here, so I'm going to add a little bit more green. Okay, we're halfway through. We're in good time. But it's very soon. It's going to be time to pop the sheepsies on. There we go. That's better. I kind of want to cheat. Am I allowed to cheat? So you guys can take as long as you like with this bit, but I would kind of like to get this thoroughly felted before I put the sheep on. Yes, Audrey, the shop is always clean and tidy and wonderful. It's the upstairs bit. I don't know if you've been up. Is a chaos up here. Oh, I did get it right. You, Me, and FPP. Genius. Also, I have a question, Sylvia. What does FPP stand for? Right, I'm going to cheat. So I have a needle felting machine sitting next to me. I'm going to pop you on mute for a second and real quickly give this a stab all over. You guys do it in real time. Take your time. You can pause this video, come back when it is relatively, so you can kind of see the difference. So this is a lot darker on the back. I want it to be not malleable. So I'm going to pause you for 1 second. Hopefully you will. Hello, did you miss me? I was semi-tempted to talk to myself while that was going on, but I didn't. I was like, should I be narrating this still? They can't hear me. And then I was wondering, would you want to hear the sound of my felting machine? It's quite a nice sound. I quite like it. It's like a sewing machine. Okay, so this is now got a little bit less give. It is looking a lot less fluffy. There is no right and wrong amount. I should definitely say this. Oh, foundation, that makes a lot of sense. Yes, thank you, Sylvia. There is no right and wrong amount of felting for your projects. I felt them fairly thoroughly because they're in the shop, so they're going to get a lot of touching and a lot of poking and prodding. If you want to leave it fluffier, because you like the look of that, 100% do. If it's just going to be on your wall and no one's going to be poking it all day, that's totally fine. There is no right and wrong. When you like how it looks, stop. This is your art. There's no stress, no pressure. Just enjoy it. But now we're going to do the fun bit, which I am very excited for. Also, have I unmuted? Yes, I have. I'm not talking to nobody. So, we have our frame. We're going to use this as a guide. So, to work the frame, you just want to unscrew this bit at the top until the bolt. So you don't want to unscrew it all the way, but just enough so you can easily pull out the center. And then I'm going to pop that halfway, making sure, yep, we're over the edges all over. That is perfect. And now we're going to pop in our sheep, which is really fun. So we're going to take the yarn and with just the single needle, so I'm going to do one in the center. I always like to do an uneven amount of sheep. So I'm going to pop a bigger one right in the center at the bottom. And the way I'm doing it is I'm just letting the yarn kind of smoosh down. I'm not felting in too thoroughly. I want to have wobbly bits and bobbly bits. Curly bits. We're going to add a couple of layers of this. So don't worry if it's not perfect. If the first layer you can still see bits of grass through it. Do not panic. So just keep adding. Sometimes you need to, that's it. Well, can you hear the concentration in my silence? Gonna keep adding more and more until it's all filled in. You're not seeing any grass and it is as smooshy as you want it to be. So I want this to be real fluffy. And I'm not going to thoroughly felt this in because I like it looking wiggledy and 3D. It makes me very happy. You can always go back later and add more, that's not a problem. So when I've got enough on that first sheep, I'm just going to take my scissors snip and just tidy in the end. And this is a kind of just over my thumb size lump of sheep. And then I'm gonna add a slightly bigger one. So I am literally just gonna copy what's on this one here. Slightly bigger. Nope, wrong way. So the further away they are, the smaller you want them to be. So I'm doing a medium size one in the middle distance. Again, I'm just letting the yarn kind of wiggle and split apart and go lumpy and bumpy. But your sheep can be as big as you like. Again, snip the yarn. Oh, so I had a discussion with somebody recently. I think it was mum, or dad, one of the two. Is that when I'm needle felting in person sounds different from what you guys hear on video. And I wonder, what do you think whenever I'm stabbing the needle in? What does that sound like to you? Somebody said steam train. I think it sounds, this is really weird. It sounds like scratching an itch in my brain. Maybe I'm just weird. Or maybe I know that I need to needle felt every so often, or else I go a little bit crazy. There we go. We've got sheep number 3. Well, they are going to get faces. Don't panic. If you want them to. Oh, and a very important, very, very important part. I'm assuming a lot of you are yarn crafters already and will have leftover bits of wool. Yarn, wool, anything. If you want to do these sheep different colours, you're more than welcome. If you've got leftovers from a jumper, because you don't need much, this is minimal amounts, you can do that. You can put in pink sheep, you can do rainbow sheep. I'm going to include this white yarn in the kits, but that does not mean that you have to use it. You can do anything. This is your picture, remember. I am merely the guide. This is your world. I think with my... Yeah, I'm going to. So with my ladies tomorrow, I'm so excited for them coming. They're always a really good laugh. I'm going to pop the multicolored yarn scraps on the table and let them go mad and see what colours they do. Oh, you can also, if you want, if you have orange yarn, do Highland cows. That is entirely fine. Oh, yes. Thank you, Audrey. Yeah, it is. I find just even the sound of needle felting is so relaxing, including not just doing it. There we go. That is another sheep. So these little tufty bits I will tidy up later. Okay, how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I want 5 or do I want 7? What do we think? Should we do a couple more? No, I'm actually quite happy with that. I think that's a good amount. So let's, also I've not got much yarn left. So let's put their little heads on. So we're going to take the black yarn this time. And I might actually just pre-cut this. So your sheep can be facing any way you like. All mine are going to face to the right for some reason. Are they? They did on that one. I kind of like them all facing in the same direction. As if... And again, we're just smooshing that in. There we go. And he's got a little head. And the heads get smaller as they go back because the sheep are getting smaller. Now, I tried to do horns and ears earlier, but there's a reason I'm not doing it on this. Let's just leave it at that. And then a little bit more. In fact, let's just chop 3 and put these scissors away. There we go. I find it very hard not to slam the scissors down on the table, because I am known for that. Come here, you. Little worm. Does not wormy dealy. Does not want to be felted in. There we go. Got him. And then, so sometimes you do have to wiggle it to get in at first, but it's worth it. Concentration, concentration. We can do this. There you go. And now the last one. And then we've got one more thing. In fact, I'm going to chop that in half. We've got one more thing to do before I stabbed myself. But I didn't swear. I'm proud of me. I wasn't even stabbing at that point. I'm very glad that you can't see my face, because I just did the whole tongue out to the side, concentrating face. Right, okay. I'm going to take the darker green, the evergreen, and underneath each sheep, we're going to do a little shadow. So I'm just taking a tiny amount, and tidy up my mess. And just plonk that underneath each sheep. You can do legs if you want. I'm not going to. Because my sheep are rotund, I have decided. And then again, just a tiny bit. If you feel like you've put too much, you've got 2 options. You can either, especially at this stage, just pull it off, or you can add more of the lighter green on top. And if you want longer shadows, you can also do that as well, to make it kind of look sunsetty. You can make big streaks down one side. These are options. I'm just going to do little shadows, so it's kind of daytime. Sun's right overhead. But that just plonks them in the landscape. Can you, even this, a tiny amount is too much. There we go. That is all the important stuff done. But I'm going to layer up a little bit more the sheepsies and just secure them in a little bit better. Just a few stabs all over, making sure it's how I want it to be. This one's got tufts. Yeah, I'm happy with all them. How are we for time? Ah, plenty of time. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to put it into the frame, and then I'm going to stab and chat some nonsense for a bit longer. So to pop it into the frame, I've already shown you how to take the centre out. I'm going to just double check. Yep, happy with that. I don't see any gaps anywhere. There's a wee gap there, but I'm not too worried about that right now. Oh, hello. Is this you just joining us? Right, no, sorry, distraction. So you've taken the centre out of the frame. I'm going to pull this off the mat, and I'm going to move the mat away. or move myself away, because we want to do this on a hard surface. So you place this complete one in the center, and then you're going to feel out where it is and try as best you can to center it up. Make sure this is fully open but still connected, and then just pop it over, push it back down just a little bit, and then all you need to do essentially to finish it off is screw that as tight as it can go, and then all this extra at the side. I'm not going to do this now because I'm still going to felt on this, but you just grab your scissors and just chop all that off at the back, and then it will look like that. Look at it! How cute are those little fluffy sheep? That makes me very happy. Okay, so that's how you pop it in the frame. You just want to make sure that the frames are level. If you want, you can add a dot of glue before you pop it in. I don't, and in the shop I don't do it, so I've never had a problem, because once you've tightened that up, it's nice and tight, it's fine. So what I'm going to look for just now before I put it back in is, so there's a gap there where I can see right through to the base colour, and a wee gap there and a wee gap there that I'm going to fill in. Otherwise I'm pretty happy. So let's do a little bit more stabbing, filling in these gaps while I do the YouTubey things. So we are almost at 2,000 subscribers, which is incredible. I cannot believe it. Thank you everybody who subscribed. I appreciate all of you. You're all amazing. So if you're not subscribed, now would be a really nice time to hit that subscribe button. If you want more of my nonsense, and always have a check, because sometimes YouTube likes to unsubscribe people. So have a check that you are actually subscribed and that you haven't been sneakily unsubscribed. If you want to come and hear more of the nonsense, we do the live stream, this live stream, every second Friday at 6:15. Used to be at 6 o'clock, but since I've moved shops, there is now a loud noise that happens in this shop at 6 o'clock every day. So we've just nudged it back a little bit. So it's 6:15 we now start. Which also appears to be the penguin will get here on time. I'm cheeky, I'm sorry. Yeah, so if you could leave a comment after the fact. I love reading them. I try and respond to every single one. Even if you've not caught live, you're officially the replay crew. You're just as important as the live guys. I love you live guys. We also have I can do words. Nope, we have a Facebook group for the felt alongs, and I love to see your finished ones that you've made inspired by mine, or even just ones that you've made that have nothing to do with me, just anything felty, shove it in there. We love it. What else? What have I forgotten? Instagram, Facebook, the usuals. Yep, nope, it's gone. There's something else. Give Sylvia a follow. And also, someone who is absent today, who I've named officially my chief nonsense maker, is a lovely lady called Feltaholics. And she does amazing needle felt instructions as well. So if somebody could chuck her YouTube channel in the comments as well, go and give her some love and say I sent you. So I am still stabbing these sheep a little bit, but not excessively. And I think this one needs a little bit more on him. No, it's using the wool and like really layering it up just makes these sheep so cute. They look like a little bit like I'm going to say this very wrong. The Valois sheep, the black nose Valois. but they don't have the little black legs with white knees, which I believe makes the breed. But just this texture from the yarn is so fluffy, and it's really tactile in 3D, which is great. I'm just layering up my sheepsies a little bit. I'm so tempted right now to put in one random different coloured one. Okay, one in the comments if you would like a pink sheep. Two in the comments if I should keep them all natural coloured. And I know there's a delay on the comments, so I am going to wait for a second before seeing if anybody wants a pink sheep. I see a 1. We're going for a pink sheep, right? I'm just going to go and find some pink yarn. Everybody, hold on. Nobody panic. And the youths, if any of the youths are watching this, it's pink because Minecraft. Yes, I play Minecraft. Okay, let's find some pink. From my big box of scraps, let's find, can you see? Ooh, do I have pink? Pink is one of the fewer colours. There we go. There's a little bit of pink. Is it going to be a multi? Oh, there we go. Ah, perfect. In fact, this is cheating. This is alpaca, this little pink. Don't ask how I know what all my wools in my scrap box are. But I'm going to pop in a little pink So does this make, because the yarn is alpaca, does this make him an alpaca in the distance? So there, 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 there. Is that still going to be in the frame? Yeah. So yes, have fun with your picture. If you want to do full rainbow sheep, I am 100% behind you on that. There we go, and he needs a little face. Oh, enjoy your dinner, Audrey. Yep, I was just you read my thoughts. I've now got an even I've got an even number of sheep, so I'm gonna have to do a second pink one, I think. Let's just pop his little feet. There was. Don't ask. Don't ask. Oh, look at him. He is adorable. Look. Oh, right. Yeah, we're going to have to do a second pink one, aren't we? So we've got a different pink here. Do we put him down there? A little tiny, tiny pink lammy. Oh, now I want to swap that one to there. Okay, right, we're doing that. How long have I got left? Ah, I've got 1 minute. Ah! So this guy is going down here. And remember, and put the shadow under. I can run over time. It's fine. This is just. In fact, no, I don't have 1 minute. We started at 1:15. I have 15 more minutes. Huh. I was panicking for nothing. I can count the time. See? Brains here. Okay, right. And I'm going to put a little bit of shadow underneath them as well. So don't forget their little shadows. There, a little pink down there. There we go. He needs his little face. all the time. Relax. This is a relaxing experience. Also, I am totally allowed to run over if I want to. Get in. This is... There we go. Now, I am saying to myself in my head, why didn't I use black roving for the sheep's faces? Because that would be so much easier. Because I'm an idiot. Little pink Minecraft sheep. Yes. Okay. Oh, we need to do... Oh, I've reminded you guys to do it, but I did not do it myself. Put the little shadows under with the darker green. And remember, you saw what I did there, just there. I moved the position of the sheep. And if you don't like where your sheep are positioned, you can 100% do that as well. So don't panic if your sheep are not exactly where you want them to be. You can either move them. I think that one needs a little bit more underneath as well. And you as well. Yeah, give me a time crunch and I'll get stuff done. Okay, excellent. Right, I'm going to stab all over these guys. So is this, I think this one is an alpaca in sheep's clothing. Or is it a sheep in alpaca clothing? I'm also making him, this is very, I'm making him slightly more square because he's a Minecraft sheep. There we go. Right, let's do some stabbing. I filled in all the holes, didn't I? Or was there still... We also need to name the sheep. I'm going to put a little bit more down there. There we go. Remember, pull it off the mat every so often, and you feel it. I can feel it stiffened up so much more. Oh, look at the little fluff sticks out so nicely. Yeah, the fluff. I'm not going to felt the fluff too much because I want it. Or if you felt it, right? How do I say? How do I do words at this time of night? 4 minutes past time, or what used to be finishing time. So my brain is now starting to switch off. If you're afraid that if you're afraid they're going to fall out, the sheep, they probably won't. You'll be fine. But if you are, you can layer them up. So thoroughly felt the base, and then add another layer on top, and leave that layer slightly fluffier. Does that make sense? Do I ever make sense? I can't do that because that is literally the last of the pink. So he's going to be that felted. But the little texture, it's wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, shall we put this in the frame and then I will see you in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks' time, we might... So this is almost the end of the stream, so I can... Oh no, it's okay. I can tell you this. In 2 weeks' time, we might have a special guest appearance, possibly. She may not appear, but one of the lovely ladies that works for me, Andy, took a picture recently, and I was like, "Oh, Andy, that's a lovely picture. I would like to felt that and turn that into a felt along." And she has requested, because she's new to felting, but she's very good, that she designs the felt along. So we might be doing an Andy original in 2 weeks, although she says she's camera shy and probably. I mean, I only show my hands, but she says she's camera shy, so it might not actually appear in the video, but it'll be her design that we are doing. So that, I just have to pester her slightly. Pester her? I have to give her the felting stuff downstairs, and then she'll do it. So that might be what's happening in 2 weeks. Okay, so let's pop this in a frame. So again, I'm just feeling out where the frame is. I think I want a little bit more grass, so I don't want it to be half and half. So you can, this is the reason we go outside the lines. If you want to, you can frame it there, you can frame it there. You've got options. So about there. Oh, oh, I tightened it up and I forgot to untighten it. Hold up. Wee. Oh no, it's the end of the world. I have untightened it too much. What do I do? And you shove it back in and tighten it up again. It's not the end of the world. No, a little bit higher up. There. Perfect. Okay. Boop. And then you just wiggle that out. And I've spotted there's a bit there I don't like. It's not showing off on camera. I can see it in real life. I'm going to change that a little bit there later on. But for just now, let's tidy up the desk so we've got a final parting picture. Should we bring these back in? Yeah. And I'm squinty. Go less squinty. There we go. On camera it looks like his face is falling off, but it's not, I promise. You can even, if you want to, pull a little bit. There we go. Okay, oh, there's comments, hold on. I can have one sheep, just the sheep's butt at that side. That would be quite funny. But right, I am gonna leave you guys because it is dinner time. But thank you so much for joining me. It has been wonderful as ever. Happy felting. Enjoy. And I will see you